Welcome to Joyful Sober. I'm Alison Lassick, and this is a series of conversations with entrepreneurs, creative people, and downright and fun and inspiring people who are doing interesting things outside of our drinking culture. So, in this episode, I'm chatting to Nguyen, sustainability advocate and founder of Melbourne non-alcoholic drinks retailer Sip and Enjoy. But first, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country where we meet today, the Boonwurrung and the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my deepest respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people listening into our conversation. So I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to chat to Van today, who is no doubt super busy, being Black Friday at the time we're recording this chat. And she's also in the process of setting up a physical pop-up shop, which I'm really excited to hear about in our chat too. So welcome, Van.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for that.
It's so nice to have you here. And I can see all the bottles in the background. You're at the store now.
Yes, I am actually at the store. Like you said, I am packing and putting things together. So I thought I'll just take a break now.
Beautiful. So I wanted to kick things off if you could tell us a bit about what inspired you to start Sip and Enjoy and how your business came about.
Okay, so pretty much as a mum, I don't really drink anymore, even though my background of where I used to work in the corporate world and all that stuff was surrounded by beverages, and obviously wine was part of the beverages as well. But besides all that, went out with the girls one night, and this particular restaurant down in South Yarra had offered a wine menu. One of the pages was actually a non-alcoholic menu, but it was an A4 size page. So I was like, wow, this is interesting, because usually you only have probably 5 wines. And you're like, hey, lemon lime bitters and usual soft drinks and coffee and whatnot. So this came about, and the girls and I, a group of 8 of us, just was quite surprised, because usually we just go for the mocktails, cocktails, and just tell the waiters it's not just don't put in the alcohol, just give us the mocktail of it, and they were happy to.
Yep.
So while we were looking at the menu, this particular brand called was on the menu, and I was like, oh wow, look, they've got something with yuzu in it, and it's non-alcoholic, and it's only costs less than $30 a bottle, so it was pretty amazing. And we're like, let's try it. We were all sipping on the drink, and we were like, this is not too bad. Before you know it, 2-3 hours later, we went through 3 bottles, and we're like, what just happened?
Amazing.
And that was probably the first eye-opening part of the hospitality industry in that context. Second one, obviously, another outing with my beloved husband. The place that I went was in my local area, and the waitress just offered a non-alcoholic tasting to go with the food. And I was like, this is amazing. This has never, ever happened. I'm like, wow, this is a first. And that was the moment of a light bulb moment. I was like, okay, I think this is it. I think I know what I'm doing. And I found something. And besides that part there, the sustainability products had always been a project that I've been trying to work on. Obviously, market is quite big and quite saturated as well. And I was like, what am I going to do to try and add value to the sustainability part of what I've been trying to do within the last 2-3 years, as trying to live my life, being also practical of what I can use as a sustainability part of life. So somehow I was like, you know what, just put these 2 together and let's make it happen. So I think
love it.
it would have been a year now that everything has finally come together. And the store, obviously, you are aware that I'm having a pop-up store next week. It's opening up on Friday. So yes, everything's all happening for me now, and it's exciting.
Amazing. That's such a cool story. And like it sounds as though, yeah, that passion for non-alcoholic drinks was sparked really like quite early when it was just sort of picking up here in Melbourne and some
Correct.
interesting products coming on the market. And
Yes.
yeah, it's like almost like a big waves happening where from non and from some of those other sort of earlier players, there's now like so much growth in that space, and it's going to be really exciting to pop in and see what you've got to offer there.
Yes, it's a bit of a work and, researching and understanding the products itself, but not only that, understanding what customers are also looking for. Obviously, for me, the concept is pretty much building that awareness and support to people that don't drink or just feel like something that's quite similar or just a health conscious kind of thing. And obviously, for me, I do have a bit of an autoimmune issue, so part of this also assists me in my daily just consumption. Not daily, but part of it, like
Yeah.
balance. It
Yep.
really helps, and it really helps in a way saying that if I do have one glass of normal wine, I can tell you that the effect is very different to 2 or 3 years ago, where I would go red, and then obviously I'll get really lightheaded really easily. This time around, within the last 6 months, I've had maybe a few, and there's no effect. So
Mm.
I was quite surprised in that way. Obviously, it's probably part of the placebo as well, and the body is also learning. So in a way, it's in the health sector area. It's interesting. You
Mm.
learn a lot to take care of yourself as well, especially during COVID and things. You find out the balance of what's the word am I looking for? What works well for you?
Yeah, yeah, and tuning into that a bit more. And it sounds
Yeah.
like maybe you've really improved your health over that time as well, like by being a bit more mindful about alcohol
Yes,
consumption.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Just really in a good way, COVID has given, for me personally, the benefit of looking after myself better and having kids as well. So everything comes into play. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so interesting for me that combination of sustainability when you're saying everything comes into play, like it's such a conscious and mindful decision to, be really aware of your alcohol consumption and maybe make some different choices by bringing in non-alcoholic products. But then like that consciousness sort of expanding out into the bigger, sustainability context as well. And like if I'm conscious about what I'm putting into my body, am I conscious about what I'm putting out into the world? And like it
Yeah.
all, in a way, it makes a lot of sense that those sort of interests
Yes.
exist together.
So yeah, that's part of the business, and I guess the passion just comes naturally, part of it as well. And yeah, here I am today.
Yeah, beautiful. And your family must have noticed a difference as well over that time with you getting more sort of like conscious and aware of your own health. Has that had any other bigger impacts on your relationships and family or your energy or other kind of home things that would be noticeable at home?
I've always been a quite stable, consistent fitness person in general, and obviously, when you're working from home, when I was in corporate with the kids at home as well, when they can't go to daycare or whatnot, a lot of stress did come through, and obviously that's where I was like, "What's going on?" And my body just went haywire. I said no to. I have no idea what was going on with the body. It took me probably 2 or 3 months to try and figure it out, but actually took 6 months to get to where it was okay. And obviously, part of that is, like you said, conscious mindfulness and awareness. Is it all comes to play, and being very voiceful to my partner is also really important. Obviously, you don't get to see your partner 24/7, and this happened 24/7. I'm like, oh my gosh. Go back to work. I just want to be home is great. Obviously, when you're very organized and you have kids and a family, everything's all set stone, organized, tidy, and clean. I have my husband home. It's like, oh, I have to clean more. I have to do everything more. So the stress level does play up a lot. And obviously, when I did find out how to manage and balance, things did progressively got better in a way of communication with my partner, even having chats with friends digitally a lot, virtually as
Mm.
well, and also being able to share my experience to my friends and what they've seen, how I've developed within the last 18 months is very an eye opener.
Yeah, that's so nice. I think like being able to share your experience, it benefits people beyond, putting it onto social media benefits people beyond just your immediate network. But like, it must be really nice to feel that connection and that support from community as well. And
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
amazing. And so back to the shop, can you tell us
Mhm.
about what's happening there around the opening, or what people can expect if they're in Melbourne and they can visit?
Ooh, let me get my tasting card out.
Oh, yes, please.
So, officially opening next Friday. So, what we have on every Saturday in December is a free tasting. So, the 4th of December, we're having Banks Botanicals. They're
Mm,
coming down to do a tasting to let people know what their spirit is about, and it's, to be honest, this is one of my favorites that I love. Obviously, the
I can see
oh,
it behind you there.
oh yes, let me grab it. Look how pretty this bottle is.
Yeah, it's beautiful native flora there.
Yes, all native, and part of Sip and Enjoy is we or I. Um, the range that I have is majority all Australian. So 90% of my products are Australian, which
Amazing.
is which is something that I strongly support, and I think that Australia is doing a fantastic job within the non-alcoholic industry, and so I support that as pretty much an advocate in Australian products. So yes,
Amazing.
4th of December we're doing spirits, and we do have Banks as special guests,
Great. I
and
actually haven't
then
tried that. So
oh,
yes, I'm excited.
and then on the 11th we have Naked Life premixes. No, not alcoholic premixes. They're coming down to do a tasting then. On the 18th of December, I was very lucky to get Non. So I'm
Beautiful.
very excited to have them on board and be part of this opening as well. So they'll be on the 18th.
Especially as they were
And
so inspirational for you in your journey as
yes,
well.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy. And then we have Boxing Day. So that's all happening in December.
Incredible. And what a good time to have the pop-up shop as well. I know personally, this is a time of year where there's so many events and you want to make sure that you're well stocked with the non-alcoholic options so that if things pop up, you're not sipping water at such a festive time of year. So it's such a good time to have your
Yes.
store. It really like definitely fits with the climate.
Oh, thank you. And I'm really looking forward to this milestone, I think.
Yeah. And I guess as well, moving from like a virtual space only to having a physical space as well. Are you looking forward to meeting with customers and will you be in the store yourself?
Definitely. That's one of the things that I really enjoy most is having that proper conversation with a customer, being able to share or even provide them some kind of suggestion. And obviously, when I have had customers that come through, they've asked me questions, and I'm like, so what type of drinks do you generally drink? Because it's important that people understand that everyone has different palates,
Mm,
and obviously I may like something, but the customer may not like, or you, and then I can suggest that this is what I like. But if you like something sweeter, this is what I can suggest, and this is the range of it, which is fantastic. Which means that the customer gets the opportunity to choose and also see what the physical product looks like as well. And I feel that, you know, being part of this retail, hospitality, or drinks trade, it's important that people still wanting to go out and about and support locals, or even just to understand what's out there, really.
Yeah, it's incredible. And on this podcast as well, we've got quite a few Australian listeners, but we've got some people internationally as well. And as an advocate of Australian products, I guess I'm really keen to hear what you're going to be drinking over the festive season, and what brands or products you would want to have with you through that time.
Oh, so I've been very lucky to get some Wolf Blass Zero. They just came out, and I really like the Sauvignon Blanc. To be
Ah,
honest,
okay.
I don't drink Sauvignon Blanc, but when I had it, I was like, this really tastes like a Sauvignon Blanc. And obviously, summer's just around the corner. Something that light, sweet is great, fantastic. And then the next one, I would say, if you feel like a afternoon pick me up, an Italian spritz from Lies, just
Yeah,
that
beautiful.
over ice and some dried garnishes is fantastic. And then for a festive one, I'm gonna go with my thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. Also great for the
Love
summer
it.
weather, a G&T.
Yeah,
Do you mix it
it's
with tonic?
yes. So I'm a big advocate on Strange Love. Strange Love, for me personally, does their tonics very well. So this one here. So for these two, this is my combination for gin and tonic.
Ah,
Coastal,
yeah,
yeah,
beautiful
the
coastal
coastal,
tonic.
yes, and Banks.
Mm.
Obviously, it's important that with spirits in general that you do taste the ingredients, and obviously the aroma comes with it as well. And then when you do consume it, you can actually taste it, and that's really important. And Strange Love doesn't overpower that, so that's why the combination of tonics and banks is fantastic, or even any spirits that I do have here, from Brunswick Aces to Liars to banks. The tonics just goes really well with Strange Love.
Yeah, beautiful. I had someone asking me the other day about whether you can drink like a non-alcoholic gin neat, and my initial reaction would be no, but I'm just curious what you think, that whether or not people are enjoying it sort of like as a straight spirit or on ice as well.
You can have it both ways, because obviously it's easier, depending on your taste buds again, what you like and what you enjoy, and
Mm.
that's part of the experience as well. Some people like a bit of carbonate, or just some fizz, or just that little bit of taste of it. Then you can add that, and then over ice is just fantastic, because then you can really relinquish on the actual product itself, and really taste all that stuff that, you know, what's in that bottle that that they've created.
Yeah, I love that, Van. It's very cool. Cool. I guess I'm keen to hear from your own journey as well. If was your health the first thing that sort of triggered you to think more consciously about your life, or does your sort of story around like sustainability and interest in a more kind of slower and mindful living? We've got a car or something going past. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I guess I'm just curious about your move to a kind of slower and more mindful living, whether that goes back further beyond when your health sort of was pushing up those questions.
Mm-hmm. I would say maturity,
Yeah.
at a stage of maturity where just really want to enjoy life more, not just being always needing to get extra help from a Panadol or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously, having kids as well has really, you know, routine is involved, early mornings is involved, extracurriculums involved, and, you know, being out and about all the time. It's really important to just kickstart and be mindful about the body, family time, and me time, and just in general how the environment has just been changing over time as well. So why not?
Yeah.
We're actually behind in a lot of things, and when you do look at Europe or when you look at the US, everyone is actually 10 years forward. We're still in 10 years backwards, or we're trying to catch up. And part of obviously COVID, it really pushed us to really advance ourselves, adapt more, or just be what's that word? Be much more adaptable in life, really, because being as a Melbournian, and we have everything, and we are very grateful and fortunate um, that things are just there for us. So yeah, so it's just part of maturity, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Getting more mature and more mindful so you can make the most out of life and adapt
Yes,
to shifting circumstances around you. You want to be in your
correct.
kind of best physical and mental health as well, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's so inspiring. And I'm really curious. I'd love to hear
Mm.
back from you once your shop's been open. I'll pop in and visit. But like over COVID, I think has really pushed a lot of us to think about our relationship with alcohol. I know for me, I was considered myself such a social drinker. And then when COVID happened and I was just at home all the time, I was still drinking. And it makes you quite aware, I suppose, of your own habits. And you've got
Mhm.
time to sort of like sit with yourself and think about, what's going to be best. And I think we can definitely see that, there was already this trend towards, people looking for non-alcoholic options that I think has just
Mhm.
been really catapulted forward over the last couple of years. With some
Yes.
of the other brands I've heard similarly, like the sales have really increased over this time, and
Mm.
such an exciting time to yeah, open a physical store and to connect with others over these changes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is. Can't say much more, but I can say that it's worth it. Um, we need it in general,
Yes. Yeah.
and that people do become much more aware of themselves. It's just that you can explore a lot more than just your normal habitat, and
Yep.
be out there and just learn a lot more than just presently in one spot.
Yeah, getting outside your comfort zone, I guess, and
Correct.
like trying new
Definitely.
things. And
Hmm.
even for people who might be, still drinking regularly, there's still other options if you want to have an alcohol-free day or to like just experiment with some different products. There's so much to
Correct.
explore.
That's right. There's always an
Yeah.
alternative choice.
Yeah. And for people in Melbourne,
Mm.
whereabouts is your pop-up store going to be located? Can you tell us the location
Yep.
yet? Yeah.
It's in Abbotsford, Johnson Street, and the number is 281 Johnson Street, Abbotsford.
Awesome. That's so exciting. I'm sure people will definitely be down for all those tastings you were talking about as well, Van.
Oh, I hope so too, and I hope the weather, as Melbourne is, keeps it up.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think we're meant to have some nice days, hopefully, as we
I
come
hope
into
so. I
summer.
think that's part of my stress level is gonna go up and down if we don't have a. If it's a rainy day, it's like, oh wells.
Yeah. I love it. And before we wrap up, I was just wondering as well if you sort of have any other like thoughts or tips or ideas for people who are maybe wanting to cultivate a more conscious or mindful relationship with alcohol in their lives.
I would say just take it easy, take a break. The body needs it at times. Self care, and even though it's easy to say, it's hard to do, and totally get it because we are humans, we're not robots. So take it easy, one step at a time. Eventually, you will find that particular comfort, that where you will feel happy and okay, and you end up starting to just know what you want, what you like more. And again, I guess it's part of maturity.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. It's so true. Getting more like comfortable in knowing what we want and expressing that. And
Mm.
like by taking alcohol out of the equation, you certainly get to know yourself better, that's for sure. Uncomfortable at the start, but like really important and
Yes.
powerful part of the process.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Van. It was so nice to chat to you and see your store in the background. And
Oh,
I'm
thank
really
you.
excited about coming down as well.
I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, amazing.